G'day guys, it's Wolffy here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to try out this week's new time trial. So I've got to commend PD at the moment. They've done some great time trials recently. I really liked the fact that we got a couple of different ones over the last couple of weeks, and also that we've got more of them between the Olympic trial and the two last week, and then an additional one this week. It's really given us something different to try out. So yeah, I've got to really commend them on that one. So the one that we're going for is the one in the middle here. So it's the time trial at Grand Valley in the Wicked Fabrications GT51. It's based on the Ford Coupe, the Ford CC Coupe. So as you can see, the world record is set at the time of this recording at 1 minute 17.8. So in my initial test, I managed to do a 1 minute 17.4, and I'm sure I can get a bit more time out of it. We're on sports medium tyres. It's mid-speed BOP. Car obviously is specified. Track limits, it says here, are normal, but you really want to be a little bit careful about the track limits on this one. And it says shortcut penalty is light. So yeah, I've noticed that you do have to be careful, like you do with the Olympic trial at the moment. You have to be careful to only put two wheels over the line at any given time. So we're going to be using the sports medium tyres here. Suspension is set to sport. Differential is stock. ECU is stock, and transmission is stock. Now we do have a sports exhaust and sports brake system, but the stock pads. And as you can see here, it still shows up all my tunes, all my perm mods, but I won't be able to use any of them. Obviously with the BOP, that's not actually going to take any sort of effect. One thing I will point out, however, is the gear ratios on this thing. So we're looking a lot taller from gears 1, 2 and 3, but as you can see here, from gear 4 the gears become a lot more what we call shorter. They become shorter, so they're not quite as tall. They're angled down a little bit more on the graph here. So that's going to give you a little bit less torque, and it's going to stretch them quite a bit further out. And fifth especially is stretched really far out. So what we're going to want to do here is really use the length of that fourth gear and stretch it all the way out, basically until we hit the rev limiter, because the second you flip into fifth gear, the torque is going to absolutely drop. So you want to use every last millisecond of that fourth gear before you go into fifth. Alright, so you're pretty much, your happy place is going to be third and fourth gear for this track, and you're going to use second gear basically just to rotate. So we'll be starting out in fourth gear, stretching all the way up to 6,500 RPM here before we go into fifth. That's as far as the rev limiter is going to allow us. We're going to look for the 300 board here, hit the brakes and go straight into fourth, and then third shortly after. Then we're going to just brake straight for a while. And at the moment we want to turn in right here before the apex. We're going to give it a bit of a flick to the right. So the more sudden we do that, it's a little bit jerky, but it's actually going to slide the rear end out a little bit and give us that little bit of extra rotation. Then we're going to go straight back into third gear so that we don't have the extra gear change while accelerating, and then use the rest of the rev range and go into fourth. And then once I reach the crest here, I'm going to just let off and let the engine compression slow me down a little bit before giving it full brakes for just a second, and then a little bit of trail braking if I need to, whilst also dropping down to fourth. Third if you need to, just to get that extra rotation, but then I'm using fourth to accelerate here, because I want to actually use third once again here to try and flick myself around the corner, and the same deal here with second. So I'm only using probably 20 or 30% braking through most of that. So once again, into second, probably 20-30% worth of brake, and just flicking myself around to the left before going back into third and accelerating up through third and into fourth. I'm trying to just basically use third and fourth to accelerate, basically nothing else. So once again, on the brakes hard, and then trail braking a little bit here into third to try and flick the rear end around. Another little touch on the brakes, not too much, before going into second and just trying to throw it round to the left once again. So the more I can rotate that rear end, the better I'm going to corner in this car. You can probably stay in third here, but I used second just for a second because I thought that I wasn't quite getting enough rotation. But as early as I could, I was back into third gear and I'm on the gas, as you can see, once I know that I'm not going to hit that wall and I'm straightened up and ready for my approach to the finish line. So I stretched out third gear a little bit here, probably could have done more so, but fourth is the real killer. So you need to stretch this right out, as you can see, all the way to 6,500 RPM, which is as far as we can possibly go without hitting the limiter. And that's going to take us over the line for 1 minute 17. So here we are at full speed. I'll let you guys just check this one out at full speed, just to get a bit of a feel for what it was I was doing. So 300 board, on the brakes, fourth, third, second and a bit of a flick, back into third before I accelerate out, up into fourth, bit of a let off after I reach the crest, use the compression to brake myself, bit of brake, into third, flick the rear end around, back on the gas in fourth, a little bit of brake, into third, a little bit of brake, into second, then back into third to accelerate, a little bit of brake, into second, flick the rear end around once again, third to accelerate out, then I'm going to go into fourth, get all the way over to the left, increase my angle for these last couple of corners, once again, a little bit of brake into third, a little bit of brake into second, and really just flinging that car around that corner. So I went down into second there, you probably don't need to, and once you can straighten yourself up enough, I probably slowed myself a little bit down too much there. But you get the gist, and basically it's just third and fourth the entire track, other than this short section here before the finish line, and using second to rotate the car. So there you go. So that was good for a 1 minute 17.4 after about 10 to 15 minutes worth of trying. So I'm sure some of you faster guys out there are going to be able to do a lot better with it. And while I might have to have another go before week's end, I'm sure that I'll be able to stay within gold medal territory for this one. Now, so just one quick suggestion, if any of you guys out there haven't used the Sim Dashboard app, it's really handy for just keeping track of telemetry and lap times and even tyre temperature and tyre wear and stuff like that. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. You can get it on your phone, and if you want a full review of it, go and check out Vision Video Gaming on YouTube. He does a full review and shows you how to set it up and its applications and all that sort of stuff. So go and check him out. I think you'll enjoy that one, and it's definitely a good way to aid your sim racing. So there you go, guys. I hope that one helps you, and I hope that you go out and make those 2 million credits. So until next time, guys, be sure to like and subscribe, and take care. Bye.